to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. You've chosen a gentle path toward rest, a moment set aside just for you. Feel the rise and fall of your breath, noticing how each inhale brings in fresh calm and each exhale releases the day's lingering weight. The world beyond your window may be buzzing with energy, but here you are safe, cradled by quiet words and a soothing invitation to slow down. Your eyelids may already feel heavy, gently coaxed by the desire to drift away on a cozy wave of relaxation. Tonight the story will unfold in a realm of rain-kissed balconies in Verona, Italy, a place of soft lights, cool drizzles, and the lingering echoes of Shakespeare's timeless romance. In this moment, allow yourself the small luxury of stillness. Gently ease your shoulders down, letting them settle like feathers upon a warm cushion of peace. Notice how your body becomes heavier with each breath, each muscle releasing tension as if exhaling a silent sigh of contentment. Listen to your breath. Steady, calm, reassuring. You might imagine soft rain tapping on a window somewhere far away, each drop a gentle lullaby guiding you further into the tender arms of tranquility. You've been on many journeys today. Mental journeys filled with tasks, responsibilities, thoughts darting this way and that. But now grant yourself permission to set those aside. There is no hurry here, only the hush of an evening that welcomes you with open arms. Feel your breathing slow, like waves lapping softly at the shore of your awareness. If any thoughts arise, simply let them float by, unattached, drifting away on a breeze of serenity. Let this gentle introduction remind you that it's perfectly fine to rest and be still, that you've earned a quiet respite in the peaceful corners of your mind. Think of each word as a stepping stone guiding you down a calm path, leading to the doorway of a warm and inviting tale. Soon, you'll step through that threshold, leaving behind the pace of your day and entering a world that moves with soft, unhurried grace. Close your eyes if you wish, or simply soften your gaze, allowing the gentle weight of fatigue to settle in the most comforting way. Breathe in, breathe out. The story awaits you patiently, ready to carry you into a realm of quiet comfort and beckoning rest. In a tucked-away corner of Verona's old town, Elena stands on a narrow balcony that overlooks a winding cobblestone street. Soft raindrops fall from a silver sky, lightly tapping the iron rail before cascading onto the ancient stones below. The aroma of wet stone and faint lavender drifts upward, mingling with the gentle hush of the evening. She is wrapped in a thick shawl of soft wool, snug around her shoulders, and in her hand she holds a small leather-bound volume of Shakespeare's sonnets. Each page is thin, edges gilded in a whisper of gold, and the sight of it fills her heart with quiet wonder. Across the street, a series of lanterns cast a warm, amber glow against the walls of old brick buildings, their surfaces alive with stories of centuries past. Rainwater glistens on the decorative arches that cap the windows, shimmering like tiny mirrors reflecting the timeless spirit of Verona. The city moves slowly tonight, as if lulled by the drizzle into a state of peaceful reverie. Elena gazes beyond the balcony to the modest courtyard below, a courtyard flanked by flowering vines and terracotta pots filled with herbs. The gentle perfume of basil and rosemary drifts upward, blending with the cool scent of rain. From her balcony, she notices an elderly couple passing by, sharing a single umbrella as they meander hand in hand. Their soft laughter echoes just beneath the pitter-patter of rainfall, a reminder that quiet joys persist, even in the most subdued evenings. Elena smiles to herself, recalling the lines of a sonnet she read only moments before. Her mind drifts to images of star-crossed lovers, of whispered conversations in hidden gardens. The pages in her hands hold words that have echoed through time, weaving stories of love, longing, and the sweet ache of hope. The raindrops, gentle yet steady, seem to keep the rhythm of an old romantic waltz played by the city itself. Elena steps back from the rail and enters her apartment. It is small but welcoming. The walls painted a soft cream that seems to soak up the warm lamplight. A small fire crackles in a stone fireplace, reflecting shades of gold and orange across the low-beamed ceiling. On a sturdy wooden table sits a bowl of fresh fruit and a vase with a single rose, its petals still beaded with the morning's dew. Everything about this space, from the weathered bookshelves to the scattered cushions, radiates a comforting sense of home. Across one wall, a tall window looks out over the old rooftops, revealing terracotta tiles glistening under the rain. Inside these walls, the hush of the evening is accentuated by the light tapping on the glass. Elena sets her Shakespeare book on a low table and slips off her damp shoes. She dons a pair of soft woolen slippers that cradle her feet in gentle warmth. A kettle simmers on a small stove, preparing water for tea. The scent of steeping chamomile begins to infuse the air, adding another layer of coziness to the environment. Elena hums a tune under her breath, something quiet and lilting, a melody she once heard in a lullaby. Outside, the rain continues, an unhurried lull that resonates like a living lullaby. Elena's thoughts turn to Juliet's balcony, that legendary nook of the city where visitors gather from all over the world, hoping to feel the romantic echoes of a bygone era. She visited earlier that day during a momentary break in the weather and found herself wondering about the timeless allure of that modest stone veranda. Perhaps it wasn't the exact spot from the bard's imagination, but it carried a mystique that drew travelers in droves. She had stood there among a small crowd, listening to hushed whispers of awe, feeling the centuries peel back in her mind. Now, in the quiet of her apartment, The idea of balconies and Shakespeare lingers, woven with the gentle music of rainfall. The evening unfolds like a soft tapestry, each minute drifting by with the grace of a slow-turning page. As the rain dances across the rooftops, Elena pours steaming tea into a porcelain cup. She cradles it in her hands, sipping the calming brew. The flavors of chamomile and a hint of honey blossom on her tongue, sweet and comforting, like a soothing embrace from an old friend. The interior lights, kept low, paint the room in a gentle glow that invites restfulness. Outside, the gentle hush of water meeting stone continues, forming a cradle of sound in which all thoughts can peacefully float. After settling into a cushioned armchair near the fireplace, Elena opens the leather-bound volume once more. Her eyes drift across the pages in no particular order, allowing her heart to land on a sonnet that resonates with the mood of the moment. The words speak of love and devotion, of shadows passing and light enduring. Each syllable comes softly, as if the centuries that separate Shakespeare's time from this rainy evening have dissolved into quiet kinship. The warmth of the tea, the glow of the fire, and the lullaby of raindrops merge into an enveloping cocoon, offering a serene reprieve from any cares that might have lingered before. Meanwhile, beyond Elena's apartment, the rain continues to grace Verona's winding streets. The gentle showers slide down the facades of buildings, droplets gathering at the eaves before falling, one by one, onto the ancient stones below. A passing carriage led by a sure-footed horse moves slowly through a puddle-filled alleyway, the sound of hooves muted by the watery hush. In a corner cafe, just visible across a small piazza, a warm lamp shines against a steamy window, hinting that a few late-night patrons might still be chatting over cups of espresso or cappuccino, soaking in the comforting lull of the rainy evening. Time seems suspended, each moment stretching gently to make room for reflection and contentment. This is a night that envelops those who wander within it like a soft shawl, crocheted of ancient architecture and heartfelt memories. Within that shawl, Elena's own memories swirl. She thinks of visiting Verona in her youth, drawn by the promise of romance and the magic of Shakespeare's legacy. The city then had been bursting with sunlight, lively crowds, and vibrant energy. Yet she finds this quieter, rain-soaked version more intimate, as though the city itself is whispering secrets just for her, sharing fragments of stories that remain etched in every stone arch, every hidden courtyard, every weathered plaque. In another part of town, a pair of musicians sits beneath an awning, plucking guitar strings in a mellow duet. The gentle notes drift along the streets, carried on the mild breeze that accompanies the rain. Though Elena cannot hear the music from her balcony, she feels its spirit echo in the hush of the night. She imagines travelers pausing in their stroll, turning their faces toward that lilting melody, and realizing that Verona holds as many hidden serenades as it does centuries-old tales. It is a city that breathes art, love, and lyricism, an eternal confluence of poetry and ordinary life. As the evening deepens, the rainfall shifts from a steady drizzle to a softer mist. The air grows even quieter, as though the city has exhaled a long, contented sigh. Elena stands once again, crossing the room to step out onto her balcony. The iron rail glistens with droplets that reflect the warm lights from the windows across the street. She leans against the railing and closes her eyes, allowing the cool mist to softly caress her cheeks and eyelids. The sensation is refreshing, like a gentle invitation to be fully present in this moment. A distant bell tolls the hour, its resonant chime echoing across the rooftops. She thinks of Romeo standing beneath Juliet's window, heart throbbing with the unspoken poetry of youth and longing. She imagines how the hush of night must have amplified every stir of wind, every rustle of leaves, making each faint sound carry deeper significance. In her modern Verona, that hush remains, but it is now filled with the patter of rainfall, the glow of electric lamps, and the gentle hum of the modern city slowed by evening's gentle approach. The heart of this place has stayed much the same, still welcoming dreamers who yearn for a taste of timeless romance. Inside, the fireplace crackles and pops, sending soft waves of heat into the room. Elena returns from the balcony and carefully sets her leather-bound book on a nearby shelf, deciding to stretch out on a chaise upholstered in velvety fabric, the color of pale dawn. She pulls the plush blanket over herself, feeling the gentle weight on her legs. Her gaze drifts to the dancing flames, and she takes a slow breath, inhaling the faint aroma of wood smoke mingling with the floral trace of her tea. The firelight flickers in her eyes, reflecting her peaceful contentment. Elsewhere in Verona, a midnight cat prowls along a ledge, ears flicking at the droplets that collect on its whiskers. A single lamp in a high tower window glows faintly, hinting at someone reading or writing late into the night, spinning their own tapestry of thoughts and dreams. Down below, a caretaker closes the doors of a small chapel, the latch clicking softly against the hushed backdrop of the rain. The caretaker then disappears into a side street, footsteps merging with the damp hush, leaving the city to rest. This is the Verona that emerges after hours, when the bustle subsides and the elegance of centuries stands quietly revealed. Elena's eyelids grow heavy, lulled by the enveloping warmth of the blanket and the gentle lullaby of rain. She finds her mind wandering freely, no longer caught up in the details of the day. The city's hush becomes a cushion for her thoughts, allowing them to roam through images of hidden alleyways, candlelit cafes, and moonlight shimmering on a deserted piazza. Each image appears with a soft glow, then drifts away like a silvery cloud, crossing the night sky. She breathes in slowly, letting the last remnants of tension dissolve, soothed by the calm presence that has settled over her surroundings. Her mind returns to Juliet's balcony, its stone balustrade polished smooth by the touch of countless hands. She imagines a quiet night like this one centuries ago, with only a few faint torches to light the corridor beneath. Perhaps a gentle rain was falling then too, as a pair of figures whispered promises of devotion. The walls of Verona have borne witness to countless real and imagined moments like this, collecting them all as silently as the stones absorb the rain. Elena cannot help but feel that her own presence here tonight is part of that ongoing story, a story that spans lifetimes, a tapestry threaded with longing and comfort, heartbreak and hope. Outside her apartment window, the rain's gentle rhythm continues its slow serenade, droplets tracing tiny rivulets along the glass. A mild wind teases the heavy curtains, causing them to sway as though gently dancing with the flickering light of the fireplace. Shadows move across the walls, dark shapes lulling into new forms, mesmerizing to watch in the quiet. This dance of light and shadow mirrors the interplay of history and imagination that resonates throughout Verona, a city both anchored in the present and adrift in the echoes of its past. In the stillness of this moment, the room feels like a sanctuary, enveloped by the hush of the late hour. Elena's breathing slows, matching the methodical pace of raindrops, and she closes her eyes, letting images of the day settle behind her eyelids like a series of softly glowing vignettes. She recalls her walk through the narrow streets of the old town, how the cobblestones were slick beneath her shoes, how the sound of church bells seemed to reverberate through the ancient walls, carrying with it a sense of hushed reverence. She thinks of the warm smile of the shopkeeper who sold her the rose that now adorns her table, the rose that still carries the faint aroma of a garden in bloom. Each of these recollections feels gentle and vivid, and each invites her deeper into a state of quiet reflection. Her mind feels unbound by worries. Even the sound of distant footsteps along the alley, or the occasional whisper of a passing car, blends seamlessly into the fabric of tranquility. The hush of Verona in the rain is as comforting as a soft lullaby, a lullaby that blends old and new, memory and imagination. Within that lullaby, Elena floats, buoyed by the sense that time itself has gentled to a slow, soothing pulse. The fire crackles, sending tiny sparks upward in a mesmerizing dance of light. Elena drifts on the edge of wakefulness and dreams, feeling the softness of the chaise beneath her, the warmth of the blanket against her skin, and the graceful hush of the rainy evening all around. She imagines the rain continuing throughout the night, washing away any residual concerns, cleansing the streets, rooftops, and hearts of Verona's residents. Perhaps in the morning, the sky will open into a soft pastel dawn, and the city will glimmer in new light, each surface fresh and renewed. Yet for now, in the deep cradle of night, the world is subdued and nurturing. Through half-lidded eyes, Elena gazes at the gentle glow of the lamp by her side. She can see the reflection of the flame and the sheen of her teacup, which rests nearly forgotten on the small table. Outside, the city offers a final lullaby, a hush so profound it feels almost tangible. It invites every soul within the reach of its ancient walls to let go, to ease into rest, to yield to the quiet power of renewal that sleep can bring. In the closing hours of the night, Verona breathes a lullaby of silver rain and silent streets. The droplets that once tapped steadily on rooftops now taper to a faint whisper, leaving a gentle mist to settle over balconies and cobblestones. The skies remain a shade of deep pewter, promising a restful curtain before dawn. Within her cozy apartment, Elena's breathing has slowed to a soft, rhythmic ebb and flow. The fireplace embers glow faintly, casting long, lazy shadows that flicker across the walls. Each breath she takes releases a tendril of fatigue into the hush, gently lulling her closer to sleep. The shawl draped around her shoulders slips a little, letting in a hint of cool air, but the blankets protect her with steadfast warmth. In the stillness, her thoughts drift like quiet clouds passing across the moon, weightless and unhurried. Her mind no longer clutches at details or agendas. Instead, it surrenders to the soothing vastness of the night. Even the gentle rustle of her breathing has merged with the lull of the city, weaving together in a tapestry of restfulness. One moment she imagines the faint strains of distant violin music. The next, she senses only the hush of Verona, like a tender hush, pressing softly against the windows. Shakespeare's words remain in the corner of her mind like a glowing beacon of timeless romance, but they, too, fade into the gentle quiet that envelops her. No urgency exists here, only the slow, steady pull of sleep. Above the ancient rooftops, moonlight mingles with the last of the rain, a gentle shimmer passing over the silent city. The old stones of Verona, once bustling with the day's footfalls, now rest in serene repose. Each archway, each narrow alley seems to respect this hour, yielding to the harmony of a slumbering world. In her final waking thoughts, Elena feels profound gratitude for this moment, for the privilege of lying still, listening to rain-kissed memories echo through her mind. There is a softness in her heart as she recalls how the day began, how she meandered through streets, discovered new corners of the city, and savored the hush that comes when evening settles in. Now that hush has deepened into a welcome darkness, a nurturing pause in which every care finds rest. With one last lingering breath, her eyes close fully. A gentle hush falls upon her mind, where whispers of Shakespearean lines blend with the distant memory of raindrops on iron railings. The night folds over her like a plush quilt, inviting every muscle, every thought to surrender. This is a time of serene renewal, an offering from a city steeped in romance and ancient wonder. May the hush of Verona guide all weary souls toward deep rest. May the echoes of rain on stone create a lullaby that continues to soothe the spirit long after consciousness slips away. In these final moments, no more words are needed, only the gentle hush of breath and the warm embrace of slumber's promise. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well